Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is that you're listening or watching episode 40 of VODCAST podcast. We're on the big 40, buddy. Obviously, Simon's here as well. How are you doing, mate?
I'm good, thank you, mate. Yeah, 40, congrats.
I know, thank you. I think you've done, 37 of them, 36 of them? I know, yeah, to be fair, yeah, there's the little cameos at the start of the Loughton and Jones one, so I guess you have been on them, haven't you? But yeah, even the one you even took over one once when I was on holiday, if you remember. Didn't really go very well. That was no fault of yours, were it? It was just a shocking internet connection on my part, to be fair. But blame the hotel, I say. But how we doing anyway? You all right?
Very well, mate. All good. The weather's changing now, which is a bit poor, but gets us more excited for football, I guess, doesn't it? Because I've been enjoying a bit of an holiday season.
Yeah, well, obviously the weather's been absolutely cracking, hasn't it? I've even built a patio. That's how good the weather's been. You've seen it on FaceTime, haven't you? It's alright. It's alright for someone who's never done any manual labour in his life, put it that way. But it's not as good as like yours. Obviously, you got some professionals here to do it. But that's how good the weather's been. I've actually built something. But yeah, as you say, today we're a bit shit, weren't it? Pissing it down all day.
I mean, it looks smart, and this is no diminishing, but I just wanted to clarify the word "built" in that you've built a patio.
I placed flags down. Have you said that? The only thing that's different is I didn't put any like cement mix or out like that down because I had to turn the entire grass over. I had to remove a load of soil. I had to go and buy some more soil and some sand and stick all that on the floor.
And then turf more now.
Yeah, but then the worst bit where I had to carry each individual flag from my car through the house and into the garden. Every single time I was just sort of like, because obviously my front room is not the biggest, and the gap between the settee and the kitchen door sometimes is like that big. You sort of walk in sideways at best of times. And there with this massive flag, really struggling to get it on. But yeah, weather's changed today, and it'll be a bit of a shame for you because it's your birthday tomorrow, isn't it?
It is.
So if you're listening to this on Thursday, as I know a lot of people do, because that's the release date, please send Simon a happy congratulations. 42 today, or tomorrow, should I say at the minute.
Fantastic.
How old actually are you? I forget. You're 2 years older than me, so 34 you'll be, won't you?
34, correct.
There you go. Happy days, mate. Happy birthday for tomorrow, because I'll forget.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. I'll take that. VODCAST shout out. I took that last year.
Well, yeah, there you go. Happy days. That's my present to you. Then I don't have to rush to Tesco tomorrow morning now to try and get you something and give you a socially distant present gift on your drive. I probably do that every year, to be fair. So there's nothing different. I might as well carry on. Before we get into things, I just obviously want to mention the sponsors as well. Obviously, Pitch Sport, they're still going. The app's still there. It hasn't gone anywhere. I'm still doing a video every week to try and get people talking. Every other football podcast is doing it, and there's loads of stuff there as well. And obviously, when the season restarts again, which we'll chat about in a minute, all the usual features will be back on the app as well. So if you haven't downloaded it already, please do now. And also, I want to mention the quiz. It's a quiz that I do every week now on the TurfCast Facebook page. It's been going really well, actually. This week, not as many people played as the week before, but I blame the sunshine because Sunday were ridiculously hot. So I think a lot of people were out in the gardens or whatever, or in.
For those of you that did join in, nonsense, right? I was sat out there on my laptop. That's why I was texting you saying 8% because I fucking forgot to charge it. So I'm sat at the back end of my garden on laptop, sweating, thinking I'm in Tenerife. I'm loving it.
You actually got your first finish as well, didn't you? Your first top 10 finish.
I know, mate. I worked hard on that.
And you know what? I'd
have done better. I'm fuming, man, because I was actually only probably 2 correct answers from challenging, and I could tell you the 2 that I knew the answer to that I put the wrong one because of that pressure I feel of the timer and getting it in quickly to get more points. And what were it? David Ellery. I knew that answer, but as soon as I seen Mark Dean, I've just gone bang, first name I know. I thought, I knew it, and then I seen it. Fucking fuming I were, and then there was another one. I think it was one of the shirt sponsors. I knew the answer, and I just clicked the wrong one. But I put Sofa Store, and I put fucking Autoland Furniture, even though I knew it was Sofa Store.
I did that one on purpose. I specifically chose that season's away shirt, knowing that people would get it confused because obviously Oak Furnitureland sponsored the home one, and Sofa Store sponsored the away one. But obviously, if you don't know what we're referring to, it's a round where I put pictures of the shirts up and blank the sponsor out, or I did on this occasion. And people have got to tell me which company sponsored the shirt that season. But it's back this week. We're going to keep doing it every single week until lockdown's over. If lockdown's over, I might move it to every 2 weeks or every month because obviously I have to go back to work, unfortunately. Unless someone out there wants to sponsor the quiz, I can put your banner at the bottom or whatever. We have a sponsor of the podcast. We can have a sponsor of the quiz as well. And Why not, indeed? As I mentioned briefly, we'll chat about it more now. Footy is officially back. I know it's been back for a while. The start date has been back, should I say, like the official start date has been back for a while. The 17th of June. But this was announced last Thursday, and obviously we chat about everything on Wednesday nights, and then the Premier League had to go and announce it on Thursday. I think it was Thursday. Either Thursday or Friday. But anyway, we missed it by a couple of days. But footy's back, buddy. Are we ready for it? I'm ready for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've missed it to a degree. I've not missed it as much as I would have done normally. You know what I mean? It's like if it was this crap weather that's kicking in now,
yeah,
I'd have found it a lot harder. But like I said, I've been full on holiday mode, mate. I've been kicking back. I tried watching the German league the other day. I'm thinking, right, come on, Sal, let's get back into footy. Pick a German team, and that'll be my team while lockdown's on.
Yeah,
I was bored, mate. I'm not gonna lie.
Honestly, I think it's going to be the same with Prem. It'll be different because it's Burnley, but I don't think people are going to watch as many neutral games as what they would have done because it's just so boring without the fans. There's having no fans there, it's terrible. I've tried to watch the German games myself. I don't necessarily mind watching the German league when football's on. I can watch it. We watch MLS. Like, I'll watch La Liga and stuff. Probably even every now and then even dip into French league if I'm desperate, but. It's just so bad without the fans. Exactly, blur, mate. Come on. But it was just. I've tried. It's poor. I didn't like it. I think I even watched the Dortmund Bayern Munich game, and that's a massive game. Couldn't get into it.
Is that one of the players? I watched. I watched it last week, the week before the Bayern Munich and the one that you mentioned. But I watched the Dortmund game, and it was just like it was worse than a reserve game. Because like there was the intensity, but then it was just like you could hear the screaming and thinking. Like I said, if it was my team and I was watching it, I'd be a far more passionate fan watching it. But I wasn't interested in either team winning, and there was no sort of glowing football. And I think the roar of the fan when you take one on makes probably half the skills look better than they actually are anyway.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's just the like I said, it's just the fact that there's no atmosphere. I think I said on the podcast last week, people were doing things like watching the games and getting atmosphere up on YouTube sounds and doing it that way. I mean, that's one way around it, but it's still, I can't imagine it feeling the same. But yeah, obviously I'm going to watch every single Burnley game, but I just can't see me tuning into many games like I would do during the normal season.
Talking of sponsorships and shirt sponsors,
go on.
When did Burnley get sponsored by Levi?
Yeah, I'm not on brand today. Today.
You're meant to be the representative. You're
I know,
TC.
but obviously it's a bit of a late one. Mrs. were at work today. She's at work again tomorrow. And I sat down, got everything ready. I'm like, I ain't got my shirt on. I'll go upstairs. Then obviously I remembered she's asleep, so I had to go in the bedroom.
I don't care about your excuses. Next week, bring a fucking shirt.
Next week I'll do it, obviously, but she won't hopefully be in bed. But I don't even have my Burnley shirts. I don't even have my Burnley shirts in a wardrobe like everyone else. I've got all my Burnley shirts in like a little see-through thing that so when you open it, it goes right loud and stuff. So I'd have never got away with it. I was hoping I'd have left one down here, but I haven't. There's my clothes maiden's right here, right next to me. I had a quick look, see if there's anything on it. There's nothing on it.
I've got a belter for next week. I keep the reason I say for next week is because I've been daring to wear it the last 2 weeks and bottled it when I put it on. I'm like, nah.
What is it, Tatar? Is it Tatar or something?
It's not Tatar. I look like the 1980s Brad in it, mate. It's got shoulder pads on it and everything.
Oh, so it's a goalkeeper top.
Yeah, it's a classic.
I think I know which one you're on about. I think I remember you telling me when you got it. But I wanted to wear today because obviously I was texting you the other day, weren't I? And I text you saying just bought a Burnley shirt for £8, and you went, you're joking me. It's not this shirt, is it? You sent me a picture of the shirt, didn't you? I'm like, yeah, why? I just tried to buy it for £7, but he turned it down. And I got an email saying, it's been sold. I was fuming. I'm like, yeah, it's me that's bought it, mate. He's like, why didn't you accept my £7? I don't know, he just didn't.
Oh, fuming.
I'm going to wear it today just to show off like that.
He didn't even try and barter with me. He's just like, no, you're not having it. Oh, yeah, you can have it, though.
£1 extra. But yeah, footy's back. I know you said you haven't missed it necessarily. I feel you. At first, I proper missed it. But as the longer it's gone on, weirdly, I've started to miss it less. And as you mentioned, like the football, the weather being a bit good recently, I think that hasn't helped because everyone's been doing things anyway. But I don't know. It's weird. I think if we had something to play for, like we were eighth and a lot closer to Europe than what we are, or maybe if we were in a relegation battle, the nerves would probably be there. But that also makes you excited, doesn't it? But I think the fact that we don't have anything to play for, apart from maybe a push for Europe, if we're very, 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 very lucky, I can't see us getting that personally. But I think the problem is we don't have anything to play for. I think that's why a lot of people don't miss it as much as some other fan bases.
We are in a relegation battle, according to your new mates.
According to Claude from Arsenal Fan TV.
Yeah,
to be fair, obviously Simon's referring to a show that I was on this week called Claude and the Bansters. He's just made a new. It's not actually that new actually, but they've made a new show on his YouTube channel. Obviously, Claude's got the platform from AFC TV, where they get a representative on from each team every week. You get a few. There was there was a Bournemouth one and meant to be a Brighton one, but the Brighton one pulled out. He started off the thing saying, "Oh, we've got a relegation special here, Burnley and Brighton." I didn't say anything at the time because it was like the first thing he said, and I thought, "Oh, he's got a bit of a big personality here. I'll leave it." But eventually, someone put the league table up on the screen. He's like, "Hold on a second, they're only 1 point behind us. I didn't realise. I'll take that back. I'll take that back." So at least he took it back in the end. But
take that of your pipe, Arsenal fans.
but yeah, he actually said the sentence like, people always give Burnley shit. How can they give Burnley shit when they're 1 point behind us Arsenal fans? Like, what are you playing at? What are you playing at? That was before his internet connection went and he left, and it just ended it with me, a Bournemouth fan, and the two other lads on the show. But it was good. It was good to chat about. We're good to get other fans' perspectives and stuff. Bournemouth fan talked a lot about Bournemouth and Eddie Howe and stuff, and obviously I managed to be put on that. So if you haven't already, because we did put it on our social medias, but please go and check it out. Just type in Claude and the Bansters on YouTube, and it should be here. It's about an hour long. Watch it after Turfcast, obviously, but then go and watch it. Anyway, I put a big debate up on the social medias today, and the debate was, when the season returns, who do we start up top? Who would you like to see start up top? Obviously, we've got Chris Wood, we've got Jay, we've got Vids, and we've got Shithouse Barnes. They've all got their own qualities, and they have all, at some point this season, played very, very well. So it is a bit of a tricky one, I think. I know who I'll go for, though, and it's never really been in any doubt. So I can understand why people would have different opinions. But let me get yours first, mate.
It's a difficult one. There could be multiple. I think if you left any of them out, it's harsh. If you left any of them out, it's understandable. It doesn't. Again, sitting on the fence as usual. But it's for me, it's probably Wood because he's just prolific. You know what I mean? He might not be the most glamorous of strikers, but he gets them goals in for us. And then I think Barnes, because he's a pain in the arse, and as well as his talent up front, he can score goals. And against a team like City, you need a pain in the arse. You don't need a Vidra.
Yeah. I'd go for Wood. I understand why some people don't like Wood, but you're wrong when you say you don't like. I understand why people don't like him. It's because, like you said, he isn't glamorous. He is offside a lot. It can be a bit of a pain in the arse when he's offside a lot. I understand the frustrations. But he's been the leading goal scorer for, 3 seasons in a row now? I think it was a joint leading goal scorer 2 seasons in a row, then the leading goal scorer last season, leading goal scorer so far this season. He just scores goals. He's the best natural finisher that we have, and he's the best natural finisher that we've had in quite a while, I think, for me. But I'd go for Jay. I'd go for Jay up top with him because that's what we're working so well before this, and that's what we had. Obviously, say like before all of this, we were doing really, really well. But I understand why people go for Barnes at the start of the season. That's what we're working really, really well then. Wood and Barnes, and obviously, like you said, Barnes can be a pain in the arse. I would personally go, like I said, Wood and Jay. Bring Barnes on 60th minute, and then for Jay, like you say, a bit of a battering ram, pain in the arse when people are tired. And then Vids on for the last 15 or something to stretch defenders a bit more.
To be fair, right, we're playing Man City. Do we need a midfield? Because just pass it fucking round anyway. Let's just put 4 up front, mate.
Well, this is what some people were saying. Obviously, like I said, I put it out on the socials. If you haven't already, please do follow us. It's Turfcast Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. Put it out on all of them, apart from Instagram and YouTube. So there's 2 of them. So there's 2 of them. But some people were saying like, try 3 up top, maybe try 1 up top, but if someone said maybe change to 5 at the back, but with wing backs and just change it around a bit, because that's a different debate altogether.
Do you remember last time we tried that?
I know, that's a different debate altogether. I think so, yeah.
Everton with Gibson at centre half.
Yeah, yeah. But I think that's a different debate altogether. But this guy in particular said a lot of people seem to be saying this. I don't personally get it because he doesn't have any defensive sort of like awareness. But a lot of people want to put Dwight McNeil at left back and change him into a wing back.
What the fuck?
I know a lot of people want to do it.
I know this is our fan base, so I don't really want to slag him off, like, but what are you on about? I've not even heard this.
I've seen a lot of people say it. I've seen, especially people of other clubs as well. Other people of other clubs say if we bought Dwight McNeil, I'd want us to change him into a left a left wing back. It's like he doesn't have any defensive awareness, man. Like
he's not even that pacey.
No, he's not. He's trickly and he will run with the ball, but it's not like you need to have a lot of pace and stuff. And he has got a bit of pace. Like he's not exactly slow, but.
But he's not like, you know what I mean. He's not like your Bale, and I can understand why they say, "Oh, drop him back. Let's have him running at 4." If I were going to change Dwight McNeil into any position, it'd be a centre midfielder.
Yeah, I was going to say like an attacking midfielder playing me out in front too, something like that. I think that'd work best for me because he's got a killer ball. He has got an absolute whip on him though, so it might be a bit of a waste unless you give him the freedom to roam behind and things like that.
Well, you only need to look at the recent games, before lockdown, when we were struggling and we'd be 1 or 2 behind maybe, and then all of a sudden Dwight would be playing across the back of in front of the defenders, running across them, and then it opens up so much more space for other people.
Yeah, I agree with that. Anyway, like I said, I put it out on the socials. Harry Waterworth has gone for Wood and J Rod. Lovey Smith has said change it around, go for 3 up top. Simon Paul Harvey says Ashley Barnes and J Rod. Sam Lane, Vidra was on form before the season ended, so him and Wood should start for me. Jordan Ribchester says Barnes and Vidra. Daniel Hammond says Conroy and Eli. I think you need to refresh your browser, mate. Chris Heap, these two to start for now. He's referring to the picture that I put up, which was Chris Wood and J. Matthew Bailey, Barnes and Wood, Reece Hamilton, J Rod and Vidra. Surprised he didn't want Joe Hart up top to have heard him, Reece. Shout out Reece. He's a good lad, Reece. He gets a lot of stick, but he's alright.
Did he do his hair? Boy, that guy.
He did. He tagged you in the pictures, mate, and I retweeted him and everything.
He messaged me privately, I'm not going to lie.
You just forgot them.
I am replying to folk.
Yeah.
But like, even my mum's trying to ring me 4 times in this and I've cut her off. So
that's what that black screen were all about then?
Yeah, my mum's been ringing me. But I'm not. I've seen it, but I couldn't see the claret in it. I couldn't see the blue in it, to be fair.
You have to look. You can see it. Just turn your brightness up on your phone. You can see it. It is there. Yeah, I was going to say. It's a good point you brought that up. Actually, is that what's your opinion on it on that hair then? Because obviously he did that for Turfcast. He tagged us in it and everything. He's done it obviously because you talk about hair a lot as well. So now's your time. Now give him some feedback and some advice for next time he wants to do it at home.
Listen, mate, I don't reply to many folk. You know this.
Don't reply to me.
I give him an heads up. I give him advice. I get tagged a day later in it, and I thought he hadn't even listened to any of it. I thought, what's the point? He's just got a slight hue in his hair. And I'm like, you've got to lighten it, fella. But anyway, it's good effort, mate. And for a good laugh, anyway, let's put it that way, in a shit time. So, yeah, fair play.
Yeah, I'm just looking. Obviously, I can see his profile picture when he comments on the stuff, and you can see the blue even in the profile picture. So it is there. Anyway, moving on. Kim Tolliver says Wood and J Rod also, but want to see more of Vids. Martin Biddulph, Wood and J Rod. Ellis Byrne says just for the fun of it, I'd like to see 4-5-1 with the usual back 5. Usual back 4, but McNeil on the left, Hendrick on the right when Cork and CM, the 2 central attacking midfielders with Brownhill and Westwood, and any striker up front. So a few people as well saying...
I'm far bit middle.
Yeah. Harry Peacock Jr. says 3 up top just for the hell of it. We're safe, so might as well get it, teams. They won't know what's hit him if Sean Dyche changes from 4-4-2. I agree with that last sentence. Imagine... all the scouting you've done, all the DVDs you've sat there and watched your Pep Guardiola, you're like, Sean Dyche plays 4-4-2 every single week. Sean Dyche turns up 4-3-3. He's like, we won't have a clue what to do. But yeah, that's what I do. I'd play Wood and J because it's worked so well. So why change it? Well, actually, I haven't written this down and I haven't briefed you on, but it's something I talked about on Claude and the Bouncers this week. is form, and it is the question on Pitch Sport actually this week, so if you haven't already, please do go on Pitch Sport. We're not going to read the responses out this week, it's for next week, but this week's question on Pitch Sport is, will form continue? Because I know you sometimes see form continue from the end of a season to the next season sometimes, but it's so difficult to do, isn't it? Like, we're in such good form, and everyone's going to be like, oh, Burnley are in good form, good time to play Man City, but we haven't played for 3 months nearly now. Aston Villa are in an absolute dire straits, but they could come back and get a few results. So do you think form's going to matter? Do you think form's out the window? No. Is it going to carry on?
I think it's a blank canvas again all of a sudden, because there's no highs. You know what I mean? Like when you said about you can carry on your momentum.
Yeah. It's a big thing in football, is momentum.
It's a big thing in football. Anyone who doesn't know, Joe, that's his favourite quarter. But there's no sort of like you said, there's no build up, but there's nothing to go from. There's no sort of pre-season where you've got a few results under you, or you've got a marquee signing, or you've let go of some deadwood or anything. There's nothing other than a shit period of time where training's been lackluster. You're not allowed to do tackles still. Until next week, I think. What that's about, I don't know. And you're getting the fucking needle or whatever it is shoved up your nose every 2 days.
The cotton bud in it.
Cotton bud. Have you seen how far that goes on, mate?
Yeah, well, my missus had had one. She was telling me, it goes up a long way.
I'm 5'4", mate. Neil comes out my arse. Honest to God, it doesn't look very clever, that. I'm not a fan of it. But, I can't see any sort of buzz about getting back to football right now, because I think there's an anxiety in the world, so why would footballers not carry that? Yeah,
of course. But yeah, I agree with that. I don't think form will carry on. I think we have to restart, and unfortunately, we're having to restart at one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah, that's a shit to that.
Yeah, I mean, it gets it out of the way, but it's not what you want, is it? It's like you won't want Man City on the first game of the season, because if you go to Man City and you get beat 4-5-0, you're immediately having to climb a mountain. Obviously, we won't have that mountain to climb because we're already in 10th, but it could just knock us confidence, and that's what I'm worried about. Let's talk about The Athletic, which is a must for all football fans and has loads of brilliant Burnley content. The Athletic brings you the best coverage of football, combat sports, NFL, NBA and loads more. A world-class team of football writers, including Andy Jones, who covers the Clarets, and it's completely ad-free with no ads and no annoying pop-ups. If you're not signed up to The Athletic yet, fans of Turfcast can now get 50% off the annual subscription price and a 7-day free trial. To get the deal, head to theathletic.co.uk/Turfcast. Right, I know you've heard his name before, everybody, but I just want to give another quick shout out to Joe Skinner.
Thought to talk about me.
No, I won't talk about you. Joe Skinner's done something amazing though. He's raised over. I think we put on our socials this week. He's raised an impressive £6,900, but he's had more. He's had a conversation with Pendleside Hospice today at the time of recording, which is Wednesday. And they've told him that he's raised closer to 8,000 because it's not including gift aid when Just Giving does it. So they've added up all the gift aid, and it's like £7,900. So that's absolutely fantastic.
To be fair, mate, if anyone's ever donated to Just Giving, that little box where it says, "Do you want a gift aid?" half the time you miss it or you don't take it seriously. But look at the difference that's made.
Exactly, and he's raised £7,000, or he had raised £7,000. Imagine the difference that made to. What was the guy called who walked the length of his garden? Guy. Yeah, no, the guy.
Fucking hell, Colonel Tom. Somewhere.
It was Tom, wasn't it? It was Tom. Sir Tom. Sir Tom.
That's it. I knew that.
What's he called now? I'm Sir Tom Moore. That's it. Is that it? Yeah, Sir Tom Moore. There we go. I had to get that in because I couldn't just say because obviously he's done something brilliant as well. But the point I'm making, what did he raise in the end? It was an absolutely ridiculous amount of money, wasn't it?
20 million last time.
Yeah, it was something ridiculous. So imagine the difference that it makes on Tom Moore's. Like imagine the difference. There's probably the difference between 15 million and 20.
I get it.
It's just ridiculous. But anyway, what was I saying? So another shout out to Joe Skinner. The reason why we're giving another shout out because obviously the big jump in the money raised after that conversation, but we're trying to help Joe a little bit because Joe has got some bit of Burnley memorabilia. It's like I'm just looking at it now. It's like a framed collection of what we describe as like cigarette cards, isn't it? It's a bit unusual, but it is quite a bit of unique Burnley memorabilia. It's really, really nice. It's something that I would have liked to get my hands on, but obviously what we're going to do is we're going to help him raise even more money by auctioning this set of framed Clarets cigarette cards off. As we mentioned, it's a unique piece of Burnley Football Club memorabilia which nobody else will, or not many people will have. But what we're going to do, we're going to raffle tickets off. These tickets are £2 each. To enter, all you have to do is simply donate money to Joe's Just Giving page. The link is on the Turfcast podcast Facebook page and our Twitter page. But when donating at the link, comment how many tickets you want and leave your name. And then we will give you an allocated number, and then we'll do a live draw to select the winner either on the podcast or on our Facebook page. So if you want to get involved with that, go over to our Facebook page, have a look at the prize, and then let us know if you want to donate. And like we said, donate at his link, but make sure you leave a name so we can then put your name in the hat to do the draw to hopefully send you the prize.
Yeah, I haven't got a list of the names that are on the prize, but just to make it a little bit more exciting, we've reached out to Frank Casper, and I know for a fact that he's one of the names on it before, because I want to message him otherwise. But I've asked him if he'd sign it for us to make it even more special. And straight away he replied, yeah, and he said he'll even get some of the other boys that are on the pictures to sign theirs as well.
Happy days. So big shout out to Frank for doing that. Big shout out to you for reaching out to him as well, obviously, hopefully. So there you go. If you are the winner, or if you are interested, that will make it a little bit more appealing, definitely, because it's going to be signed, and literally nobody else will have that. That will be a definitely a unique piece of Clarets memorabilia that only you will probably have if we get it signed by a lot of the people on there as well. So, like I said, it is on our social media pages. So if you want it, that's where it is. So feel free to go and have a look as well.
And irrelevant of that, you're giving £2 to Pendleside Hospice. Stop being tight.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, we're hoping that the plan was to try and get Joe over the 7,000 mark, because it was on about 6,850 or something like that. So I thought, if we can raise 150, get him over that mark, brilliant. But he's done that himself with the gift day, so hopefully now we can get him over the 9,000 mark and just do it that way as well. And imagine how much that'd mean for something like Pendleside Hospice as well, especially at a time like this when people aren't making as much money and things like that. Businesses are going to need help and things, and obviously they're going to be no different. Anyway, moving on. Last week, I told the story of my crash on the way down to Wembley in 2009. Do you remember? I was on the coach. I said I don't really remember the crash that much myself. All I remember is the coach driver pulling out, hitting a car, and I remember at the time not necessarily saying it was his fault, but that would make it sound like it was his fault because he pulled out, and that's exactly the memory that I have, because obviously I don't have mirrors at either side. That's just all I remember. But anyway,
they're not in business anymore, mate. You don't have to cover your arse.
True.
Raise a regal, it'll be your fault, lads.
But I put the pictures out on my personal Twitter this week, because I remember taking some pictures at the time of the crash. All the Burnley fans stood at the side of the road just chilling and stuff like that, and being pretty anxious as well, waiting for the next coach to come along. If you want to see them, just head to @JoeTomRed on Twitter. They are there. But someone reached out to me, and he gave me a better story of the day, so I just want to fill in the gaps. Now, this person is Gareth Murphy. If you're on the Burnley FC socials and things, you'll know him. He used to run, I think it was Burnley Supporters Club, which is who we travelled with. And he used to run the coaches on there, and he sent me a message on Twitter. So I'll just read out what he said. He put, "Hi mate, I was jointly running that Wembley coach. I never made it to the grass verge where you were. Firstly, the driver was in bits because he thought he'd nearly killed us all when he'd actually just saved our lives. Then I was told that I needed to find a new coach, as that I couldn't go on. There was no coach coming to save us after a number of phone calls. So we decided that we would drag it to the services and patch it up." I remember that. I remember, like I mentioned it last week, didn't I? They had to patch it up with some duct tape. "I told the drivers that I didn't care what time we got there as long as we got there." I presume he means within kick-off time, hopefully, as well. We actually got there at good times. I remember chatting to a lot of people outside the ground, so it wasn't that bad at the end. He says, "You might also remember another coach pulled up onto the hard shoulder to try and help that had 6 empty seats and wanted to fill them. But we had to say that's not fair because we need to get everybody there or nobody at all." Just a little sad note for you. I don't remember this.
I bet you wouldn't have said that. I bet you'd have been mad if you'd have heard it at the time. You'd be like, "Get off me and my dad, we'll go on there."
I'd have tried to offer him some money, but he'd have said no. Anyway, he says, "Just a little sad note for you," which I don't remember this. "Rachel Brown-Finnis travelled on the return journey with us."
Sure.
Yeah, I don't remember that. But I'd have just sat at the same seat and not paid any attention. Anyway, I got back in touch with him, said class memory, blah, blah, blah. And I was saying now, I remember a few panic phone calls then from Fraser Eagle, saying they couldn't get another one, but like you say, we got it patched up. So I said to him, like, do you remember how the crash happened? Because like I said, I haven't really explained that very well. And apparently there was a BMW driver, well, a BMW. Oh. It's always the BMWs, isn't it? It's always them. Apologies to any BMW drivers, apart from Robbie, if you're listening. There was a BMW driver weaving in and out of traffic behind us, and he misjudged the gap and ended up hitting the side of us at speed. I never saw the beep, but I believe he crashed so bad that his front wheel came off nearly. So there you go.
Right, I'm not going to lie. After hearing your story last week, I was like, fucking hell, mate, it sounds really bad. Then I've seen the pictures, mate. There's like sellotape more than duct tape, and it's like 2 strands of it as opposed to wrapping a whole bumper on.
It's the side of it. It was the side of it. They had to connect the back, the right hand side, because that's where they hit, to obviously the right hand side of the bus. That's what it were. But it actually took quite a while. I remember that took about half an hour. That piece of duct taping. Yeah.
And then your mate Gaz, he makes the story even better. He's saying about the modern day hero of the pilot, we'll call him. Let's exaggerate it more. And he saved your lives. Saved your lives. And then
I don't remember being that dramatic. I don't remember being that dramatic. But I was like I said, I was on my phone though, and I remember just grabbing the thing in front of me, like I said last week. I went, whoa, fucking hell. That was as bad as it got for me. But I remember being really, really anxious on the side of the grass verge, thinking, I'm not going to make it to Wembley, what's going on? But thankfully did, and the rest is history. Now, obviously, it's the end of the season. There's nothing happening at the minute apart from the fact that football's back. So hopefully soon enough we're going to have some longer podcasts. But that's pretty much it for us this week. Unless, Simon, you've got something you want to add? You want to fill in the gaps a little bit?
No, thanks for having us. And yeah, you see, it's one of them, isn't it? You take it as it is. We're here to entertain, and hopefully we are doing that still. Yeah,
and if we're not doing it on the podcast, come along to the quiz. The quiz is an hour long, and the quiz obviously is probably a little bit more entertaining than the podcast at the minute. And hopefully Simon can play again. Are you working this Sunday, like doing your hair socials?
I'm not sure, but I'll try and not do.
Okay. Well, no worries if you are. Hopefully you can try and get in the top 10 again, and hopefully if you are listening to the podcast and you want
to... I might just leave it on that note, mate. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. I've not done that well before.
But fair enough. Thanks for coming on again, as usual. I'll see you on COD in about 20 minutes after I've edited this. I'll join you on COD. Shout out to Wolfie as well, by the way, because he always messages me about COD as well these days as well. But as usual, please follow us on the social medias. It's just Turfcast Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. We try to do more on YouTube now, so please give us a subscribe on there. And one thing I quickly want to mention, I've already mentioned Claude of the Bansters, but I could just mention it again. If you haven't already, please go and check out the episode that I was involved in this week. It was good. I enjoyed talking to other fans and stuff like that. And a shout out to Everton fan Owen Parks, who listens to the podcast every week. Despite being an Everton fan, he obviously enjoys good content when it's out there. He obviously enjoys good. You know what he actually said to me this week, and I think I've told you on the phone. He messaged me saying, "You know the guy who did the podcast with? I've never spoken to him, but he's a good guy."
Thanks, pal.
Yeah, he's wrong, but that's what that's what he said to me. Anyway, I want to give him a shout out because he's done a blog. He does like tactics blogs and stuff like that, and he's done a blog on Sean Dyche and Burnley Football Club. I've given it a read. It's good. I did say to him it's good, but he mentions Brian Laws and he says something positive about Brian Laws. I can't remember, so I said, you need to get rid of that, mate. But yeah, if you haven't already, go and check him out. His name's Owen Parks, at Owen Parks 123 on Twitter. His blog's on there, his link's on there. I'm sure you'll find it if you go on there. But that's it from us this week. We'll be same time, same place next week, and we'll also be doing the quiz on Sunday as well. So if you want to get involved in that, please do. So we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.